Hey guys, Maju up here, and welcome to the third video in our 2D Java game engine series. And today we're going to be adding on the renderer to our game engine. So I'm going to make a new class, and I'm going to call it a renderer. It's a great name, I know, but graphics is already taken, and I don't feel like fighting graphics class for the name graphics. So we're just going to call it renderer, which as far as I know, it doesn't exist. I haven't seen a renderer before. So we'll make a public renderer, right? We need to make a constructor for our renderer. All right, and what I'm going to take in here is I'm going to do the same thing just because I need quite a bit from game container. I'm just going to give it game container. Now we need to make some localized data. So I'm going to make a private int. I'm going to call it PW and PH. Now these algorithms that we're going to put in renderer can get kind of big, and typing width and height all the time gets really annoying. So this is going to be our pixel width and our pixel height, and we're going to make a private int array, which is going to be called P, and that's going to be our pixels. Hopefully you don't get annoyed. I mean, naming things very small names. I like to do that a lot. So we're going to say PW is equal to gc.getWidth, and ph is equal to gc.getHeight. And our p, we're not going to set this equal to a new int array. No. Actually, we're going to do a nice little trickaroo, which is very cool if you've never done it before. We're going to go to my game container. I'm going to make a getter here. I need a getter for the window, so I'm going to generate one for window. I don't need a setter. I just want a getter. And we're going to set that as the last member. Right, and then we're going to window, and I'm going to generate getters in here, and I want a getter for the canvas, which we'll need for input, which we're not doing this episode, but we might as well generate it now, and for the image, which we need for our rendering. So we're going to generate getters for those, and we'll hit OK. Let's go back to renderer, and now this pixel is actually going to be equal to, in double parentheses, data buffer int, right? I think that's right. We'll see. It might be buffered int data. It's those words in some order. We're going to set this equal to gc.getImage, gc.getWindow. Actually, I want the window. .getImage dot get raster, and what raster is image data. Get data buffer, I want the data buffer for the image, and then now it allows me to input it. That is right. And then at the very end of our last parentheses, I'm going to say .get data. Boom. So what this long line of get does is it gives this P, my int array, direct access to the pixel data of our image in our window. So if I modify this P, right, so I change the data inside P, it will change the pixel data inside of this image, which this image gets rendered onto our buffer strategy, right? So in my renderer now, it's pretty cool if you ask me. So in my renderer now, if I go to public, I'm going to make it clear, right? This is going to clear our screen. And I'm going to make a for loop. I'm just going to call it int I equals 0, I is less than p dot length, I plus plus. Right, we're just going to do a standard thing here. Now, typically, for clear, you just set this equal to black, which is that in hexadecimal. Because in hexadecimal, you have alpha, red, green, blue, and so I just normally just set the alpha to 255. I'm going to do a little cool thing just to show you our images are working. So I'm going to say I is equal to I would say plus equal I. That's what we're going to do. We're going to add I. So now if we go back to game container, and I scroll down here to my run, here to the window, I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to say, actually, we need to add the renderer into our game container. So back up here at the top, and make a private renderer. And then I'm going to come down here, we're going to initialize it, renderer equals new renderer, this, boom. we're going to come down here, and I'm going to do it here. I'm going to say renderer.clear. So that's going to clear our screen, right? Now, if I run this, you should see, wow, we get lovely images, and you can see all the pixel data going around and crazy. So this engine's going to be low pixel. You can increase the number of pixels here. So let's see here. Let's make it 1980 by 1920. That's actually bigger than my screen. Let's make it 1600 by 900. Right, and I'm going to set the scaling to 1. You can do that. Boom. Get out of here. Okay. So now we have all these nice little pixels. It looks pretty cool. And our frame rate is perfectly fine. But as we add more and we actually start drawing images and we have like AI and player input on it, the frame rate starts to drop when you get this high, when you're at this high resolution with this renderer. But it is possible. So for right now, we're just going to stick to the low resolution of 320 by 240 just for now. Let's scale to 3. And we'll just stick with our nice little window for now. Boom, we have our renderer set up. And I'm going to actually make this actually do clearing. So I'm just going to set it equal to 0. You can also do that as well. And you get a blank screen. Pretty cool, right? I think it's pretty cool. So that is the basis of our render setup. Now we're going to set up the input in the next video. So comment, rate, subscribe, and thanks for watching.